Hey everybody, welcome to our live. We come to you live every day of the week, Monday through Friday, every work day. But I hope everybody's having a great day. And so this is our Tuesday live. And so on every live, we do go over the basics, the beginnings, the start of airbrush makeup. So let's go over. Where is it? This is one of our starter kits. This is the Icon. We also have the Icon Pro and the Legend. And of course, we have the Breeze. And our Breeze is cordless and chargeable. So it's great for traveling now that we can hopefully start getting back into the swing of things. And then all of our systems come with makeup. So it comes with what you see here, but it might come with more depending on when you order it. And if it has like, maybe you got a free gift or something with that, but it does come with the 2 large bottles of foundation, love, and blush. And so it gives you everything you need to get started. We give you the 2 large bottles of blush because, 2 large bottles of foundation because we want you to practice. We want you to start using it and get familiar with it. Plus, one of those should work because you're picking a range. The blush is super high pigmented, meaning it does bloom. It does come up a little bit. And then we do have Love, and I'm just getting my blush out. Love and blush, and the blush is 2 drops. Love might not use every single day, but you might love it. So you can mix it in with your foundation or even use it by itself or mix it in with the blush. But when you get started, we want you to take your stylus, take your Breeze, and start moving that around, keeping it 4 finger widths away. With airbrush makeup, you're not going to be in the same spot twice, but there's overlap. You don't have to race, but there's some overlap. Then you're going to practice barely pulling back on this trigger. You can put water in here and airbrush water on your face. Now, water does weigh heavier than the makeup, so your face is going to be wet, but it shouldn't be running down. The biggest mistake when people get this is they put it on like traditional makeup, and this is different than traditional makeup. If you're putting it on like traditional makeup, you're not going to love it. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So make sure you do practice using those steps. Hello, Maria. How are you? Veronica, Jeannie, good morning, Good morning, Martin. All right, let me move YouTube so I can see that as well, and we will get started. I'm sitting crooked on my chair, and that's going to bother me. All right, so I kind of did, it might be a little early, but I'm doing summer and fall together. You know, when we move to fall, we might be using darker colors, things like that, but I don't know. I'm always one to use bright colors. I like the bright colors. I like the shimmers and that kind of thing. But so I kind of want to mix those 2 together. So we're going to have some fun. The first thing I did use our rose water mist all over my face to start off. And now I'm going to use the Velvet Veil. Now, Velvet Veil right here. Thank you, Martin. I don't use the dropper. I actually just wiped my hands over, or my fingers over the dropper, and just use that. And at first it'll slide on real easy, and then I kind of tap it into place. Now already you can see what a difference it makes. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. And so again, I kind of go in and I tap. What am I doing? Tap it out, tap it out. And I'm definitely, my 11's looking rough right here. So I'm going to go in and do some on my forehead. Now you can put this everywhere. My mom requested in 55-gallon drums, but you don't have to. You can put it on places that you just know you need it. Pores, large pores, redness, wrinkles and crinkles, but don't overdo it. Once you do it in sections, and once you hit that spot, leave it alone. Don't keep adding it, because then it'll get like cloudy looking, and you don't want that. Jeannie did the Velvet Veil and then powdered and didn't have any shine at all. Hello, Linda. I've never done the powder on top. I feel like This does keep you matte. And so that's good to know, Jeannie, that you can do the powder as well, and it still keeps you matte. All right, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the CC concealer. We used this yesterday, and I'm using it just as pre-coverage. So good to see you. How have you been? And I just used 3 drops of a light beige CC concealer. I'm going to do my lids and underneath my eyes. But notice, like, you know, when you do regular concealer, you're like, boom, 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 and like you just blend it, and it's usually just right there. With airbrush makeup, there's going to be overlapping. So I don't have to just stick right there. So once I start my movement, pull back on the trigger. Once I feel it, I'm moving it down. And go the other side. And I want more coverage there, but I'm giving it a break. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Judy. Judy loves her velvet veil. It really does. I call velvet veil a blur because it does blur so much. It blurs. Hello, vlogs. How are you? Hello, Angela. Good morning. Good to see you. We have some new people on YouTube. Thank y'all for joining us. So I'm going to go in. Now, the velvet veil does blur more than I thought it would because it does help with pore reduction, you know, making your pores look smaller, helps with wrinkles and crinkles, redness even. I didn't think it would do that, but it does help with redness, and it just blurs everything. It's like a filter for your face. It's a filter face without using Snapchat. And so it really just kind of takes that step up in blurring those things. And so I just did a little bit of the CC concealer on top. And now I'm going in with my blush. Now, because we're doing summer and fall, I'm going to mix Apricot, which is a brown, with my plum blush. I'll do 2. It's going to be too much, but everybody that I know that uses velvet veil, like, loves it. But a little bit does go a long way, so don't overdo it. So I have my drops of apricot and my drops of plum. Mixing those together. And now, let me make sure. Yeah. And then now, oh, in the Philippines. Ooh. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. How is the Philippines? Has anybody else been to the Philippines? I've never been. I would love to go. We used to have like a school that watched us a lot. Some makeup artists in the Philippines that watched us. Are you part of that group still, or 2? All right, so this is my blush. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing blush first. So we know that the blush blooms. Looks like this side, a little more right there. And I kind of did a little heavier just to show you the fact that, well, because now I'm going to be doing foundation, it's going to blend all of that. So right now this might look like in your face, but it won't in just a minute because I'm going to put on my foundation. Ah, Angela is from Singapore. Oh, you're just down the street from us, Angela. We're in Texas. Singapore is hot and humid, like where she is now in Louisiana. That is so true. All right, so now I'm going to go in and do glow. Now, glow I'm going to use, and normally I don't do this, guys, because I did my CC concealer that is more of a skin color. Glow is a true highlighter, and it's going to brighten up. So I can use it underneath my eyes, and I'm also going to use it as a brow highlighter. Now, again, normally I don't do this because I already have, like, I'm not one to like keep layering it. I'm one that I want to do my makeup in like 10, 15 minutes, but look like I spent an hour or two doing it, you know? So we're just doing this for some fun to highlight underneath my eyes. I feel like I need to brighten that up a little bit. I won't do a lot, but see how it just kind of, ooh. Oh, it's the rainy season in the Philippines. How much does it rain there? Okay, now look at that. Look how amazing that is. Guys, your stylus, your breeze, it blends everything for you. Like if you took a brush and blended that in, we're doing the same exact thing with our breeze. So I'm coming in a little closer, back up. 4 fingers for foundation. That's right where you want to be for foundation. For blush, you can move into about 3 fingers. So you can move in a little closer. Eyes, you're going to move in a lot closer. The closer you get, the more precise it is. Another thing we tell you is to take a tissue and fold it up, or a paper towel, and airbrush that to see that you barely have to pull back for anything, for it to come out. Like you might have thought you were pulling back, and then you thought, oh, nothing's coming out. But if you do it on a paper towel, you'll see that you just have to pull back really lightly for that to come out. When you're doing that, come in closer and show and see how precise it is. So I can go back here and just moving it. I know where it's going because I can feel the air, right? Show me some love if you're out there. And that's all I'm going to do for the glow. Now I can go in with my foundation. I am going to use Rose Foundation in shade 3. If you apply bronzer for contouring, which part of the cheeks should I aim? Great question. Angela, when doing the bronzer on the cheeks, if you're doing the matte bronzer, what you want to do is it's the middle of the ear to the corner of the mouth, but stop where the color of your eye is. So if you like smirk, it's going to be right there. Okay. You don't want to go all the way to the mouth. You're going to stop at the color of the eye. Does that make sense? Angie says, I can never get the foundation on right. Well, Angela, let me ask you this. How many drops are you using? Hey, Mary. Hello. Woo, y'all are asking some. I love all this questions and comments. I love it. We got YouTube jumping on, which I love. All right. So Angie, tell me, babe, it's a couple of questions. So it's kind of a loaded question. So let me ask you some questions. So 3 drops is not enough to do foundation. Foundation, you're going to use anywhere from 8 to actually 5 to 10 drops, depending on that coverage that you like. You'll never go over 10. I never even go over 10. But I'm saying if you like, you might go to 10. But anywhere from 5 to 10. So if you're doing 3 drops, you're probably running out way too fast. Unless, oh, that was to test it. How many drops total are you using? So are you talking about you can't get the foundation right because of the color? And then Angela, foundation 8 to 10, bronzer, blush, highlighter usually. Yes, bronzer, probably about 2. Blush, no more than 2 or you're going to look crazy. Highlighter, yep. Angela, you are good, girl. I have my foundation in here. So Angie, if you're talking about the color not matching, Okay, you can't get it even. Okay, so here's the skinny on the foundation. It is application. 99.9% of the time, it's the application. So guys, this is a new way of putting on makeup. Okay, you have your color match, good. This is a new way of putting on makeup. It's going to take a second to learn. Notice how I never stop moving my stylus. When you're moving, I'm not racing, you're not painting a fence, you're not in a hurry. The moves are very deliberate. I'm going around, using it, barely pulling back on my trigger, making my passes. You get coverage by the passes, by making more passes. You get intensity of a color by making more passes. So don't try to put it on like regular foundation when you're trying to see that opaqueness right away. Angie, honey, it doesn't matter if you have an older machine, baby. That doesn't matter at all. I have one that's from the very beginning of time and it still works. So that's not the case. What I would want you to do, if you are having problems with foundation, I'm going to stop real quick because I want to make sure everybody understands this. Let me see what Mary's question. I have Rose 4-in-1. It leaves my skin oily. So have a lot of freckles and age spots, so I don't want. No, Mary, honey, stick. Y'all are asking some major questions. Okay, I'm gonna just stop for a second. Mary and Angie and anybody new, listen. When you're putting on the makeup, the foundation, and it feels sticky, wet, it looks oily, anything like that, you're spraying too hard. Now, if your skin is oily, I want you to get the compact powder, which is this, and powder first. And I know you heard me right, powder first. Powder before putting on any airbrush. So you would take this, go boop, boop, a little bit of that, boop, boop, brush that on, and then airbrush over it. If you are not normally oily, and the foundation's leaving you oily or wet, then you are spraying too hard. If you are normally oily, do the powder thing. But for coverage, you're going to want the Rose 4-in-1. Okay, I would stick to the Rose 4-in-1 and the Silk 4-in-1. We have extended colors in those two shades. There's 1 through 18. They're more neutral colors. And what you're in one color, or if you're a 3 in Rose, you're going to be a 3 in Silk. So they transfer evenly. Angie's like, that's perfect. So let me tell you guys real quick. And normally I do this in my class. We do Angie and Angie and what was the other one? Angie and Mary. I would book one of our class in the description, in the bio. You can book a class. We do classes 2 a week, 1 on Monday and 1 on Wednesday. Try to book a class if you can. Don't get frustrated. Just like Jeannie just said, or Cindy just said, practice makes perfect. Guys, do not throw it out just because you didn't do it right the first time. That's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You weren't an expert the very first time you did regular makeup. You need to practice, okay? But here's the thing. Airbrush makeup's very forgiving. First thing I want you to do is just take your stylus, and when I say keep it 4 finger widths away. So you're going to want to practice this. I know it sounds stupid and you're like, I can keep that 4 fingers. But what happens is once you turn this on and there's air that comes out, you either do this or you come in close because you're used to touching your face. So just watch yourself in the mirror and then every so often check to make sure you're 4 finger widths away. Once you have that down and you are moving the stylus everywhere, put water in here and then lightly pull back on the trigger and make your passes. Your face is going to be wet. We just don't want it running with water. The next step is to put 5 drops of foundation, take a tissue, or I actually like paper towels because they're a little bit heavier. Fold it, hold it the 4 finger widths away, make your movement first, and then lightly pull back on the trigger. What you want to practice is this makeup to show up gradual, okay? If it is showing up like that, and I'm probably out of foundation, I'll do this real quick. If it shows up like that, then you're pulling back too hard, okay? I'm gonna flip this over. Now there is, you probably won't be able to see it because I have some great lights, but you want to practice, oh, you can see it now, having it come out gradually, not all at once, okay? Jen asks, what about peach fuzz? If you are putting it on correctly and not doing it really fast, the peach fuzz does not matter, okay? The peach fuzz will not matter if you're putting it on correctly. Now, if you have more than normal peach fuzz, we have something called the Silk and Smooth Shaver. It looks, I don't have one here, but it kind of looks like this. Shave that bad boy off, okay? You can take that off. I have some peach fuzz like down here, and I end up shaving that off. Yeah, everybody's like, silk and smooth. We have one that is dual head, and we also have one that's the single. I shave my arms with it. I've always shaved my arms. My waxer was like, how does a white girl have hair like you? Because if I shave my legs and then I sneeze, I have to shave again because I don't know what it is, but I'm hurry. Well, probably too much information, but you can do it with the Silk and Smooth Shaver. But notice how the blush is blended. It's not as ba-bam. It's very blended. All right, so let's go in. I'm going to use the Optics. Y'all are asking some good questions. I love it. I'm going in with Reflection, which is a mauve color, still kind of summery. Angela says, I find that it takes a few seconds for an effect to happen. Yes, I like that. Angela on YouTube says, I find that it takes a few seconds for an effect to happen or appear. I like how you said that because that is how airbrush makeup is. She says it takes a few seconds for an effect to happen or appear. And that's how it should, like when you see me doing my makeup, you necessarily shouldn't see that the makeup coming on. It should just look like things are changing on my face. Whereas if I did traditional makeup, you would see it instantly because you would see that opaqueness. And yes, things should be gradual. It doesn't take long, and you're going to keep making those passes. But yes, it should appear. I always tell you, it's like magic. All right. Let me see. Yay. All right. So I'm going to go back and forth. And Angie says, thank you. Facebook and YouTube can't see each other, so I'm going to interpret. All right, so I just did a little stuck with matte for right now, but I am going to go in with a little bit of chromatic right on the lid just to hang on to my summer look a little bit more. Right there. Now, I shall go in with a little bit of the Optics palette in the strobe and highlight because it's amazing. I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, I think the biggest thing we run into is that people, and everybody who's been doing this a while knows, that people want to put it on like traditional makeup. They which makes sense because I feel like I had some on my lip. Because that's what you know, right? That's what you know up until this point. And so just know that it is going to take a little bit of getting used to. All right, so now let's move on to lips. And I wanted to try something different with lips. I'm going to use our lip liners, which I love. Normally, I can do Dusty Rose. I use Dusty Rose all the time. All the live long. Dusty Rose is a staple. I probably have 5 of these. Love them. Very neutral. And so when I've done this in the past, I'm going to do 2 colors on my lips. But because we're doing summer and fall, I wanted to kind of mix it up. So instead of going neutral, which looks like this, I'm going to go for it. And I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to see. I'm going to do pink. This is naughty pink. I always have to say naughty like a English person. So I'm going to do the naughty pink first. And line the lips. Now, if I was putting a gloss or the vinyl slick liquid lipstick or anything on top of this, I still would fill in my lips. It helps the lipstick, the stain, the vinyl slick stay on longer. But our lip liners are so creamy that you can use them as lips by themselves. You can put the lip jelly on top. So you can do a lot with this. I love these. And we have fun colors. Okay, now notice I didn't go to the outside as much. I just kind of stayed right here. So now I'm taking chestnut, which is obviously more into a fall. Thank you. It might be too much of a contrast, so we can fix it. So I am going to go on top with Dusty Rose just to tone it down. So I still have that bright of the pink, kind of toned it down a little with the Dusty Rose, but keeping the chestnut towards the outside. And then now there's a couple of ways that obviously you see these sharper lines. Let me fix that real quick. I got a little bit. Oh, of course, Angie. Angie's like, I love it. You just made your own color. Exactly, girl. That's what makeup is all about. And one of my commandments is before taking your makeup off for the evening, do something different. Whether it's a smoky eye, change of a lip, do something different to see if you like it. That way you're not doing it in the morning when you're in a rush and then you end up not liking it and then taking it off. Do it right before you take your makeup off. That way you get to experience it, see, hey, oh, okay, I do like this. Or, I don't know. So try something new. Try something new. Like I said, I have never done the pink, the bright pink with the chestnut. I've done Dusty Rose And leaving, what my objective was to leave the inside lighter to make my lips look fuller. We all want those lips. And so, oh yeah, my number one commandment with eyebrows is yes, there needs to be two. But do something different, try it out. And so to change this, to make sure that these lines are a little softer. Now, if I can find it, where's my, now of course, I could take, if I could find it, a foundation brush, a concealer brush, and smear those. Now I'm going to take a Q-tip, which is not exactly what I want. Maybe I could use this one. Yeah, maybe I could use that. You actually, you know what you could do? Is even blend it like that. A lip brush, of course. But then I can also take this, which is our lip jelly. And use that. Right on top. With lips, I don't like to see harsh lines. I like them softer. Now I could go back and do the pink now because it will be softer. But it's almost like contouring your lips. There you go. Woo! Love it. Love it. All right. So who's going to be playing with a bunch of lip liners this evening? Curling my lash. Oh, yeah. When you used to play in, yes. Playing in your mom's makeup was always fun. Y'all send me those photos. Send me photos when y'all do something new. Send them to beautybar@luminousair.com. Beautybar@luminousair. Or come back tomorrow and let me know. Got a little bit of mascara. Oh, I did okay, see how there was a little bit of mascara and I went bloop. That's not what you want to do. I'll show you. If you ever get mascara when putting it on, like when you're doing your mascara and you get a little bloop right there, wait till it dries. Wait till it completely dries, which is sometimes hard because I'm like, I have to fix it. But wait till it dries, and then you can take a Q-tip and go in there and it wipes clean off, and you don't have to fix anything. So there you go, guys. There you go. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see everybody back. I love that we have Philippines and Louisiana on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us. We love all the new people. Share this video. We would love for new people to jump on and learn about Luminess. I mean, guys, we want you here. We want you to experience it. We want you to know how to use it. I don't want you to get frustrated. I want you to know as much as I know about airbrushing. So, all right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. All right. Bye for now.